What's going on, guys? It's Cliffy here, and welcome into a brand new International Cricket Captain 2016 series that I am going to run. We're going to go and get straight into things. Please remember to drop a like on this video. Let's aim, I don't know, let's say for 60 likes on this one. And remember to press subscribe if you are new. Very, very massive. I think Wednesday night heading into Thursday, we actually hit 9,000 subscribers. So that's absolutely crazy. Thank you very, very much for that. But anyway, back into the game that we've gone and started this new series on. Now, I know a lot of my fans, majority of my fans, come from Australia. So what better way to, I guess, repay their favour or repay their faith than with an International Cricket Captain Australian career mode. Now, we started off with Australia. We've got a pretty standard side, you would have to say. We're touring Sri Lanka at the moment, which I think Australia did late last year, I think in August. We played the Test series. We won that 3-zip. It was quite impressive. Steve Smith was on fire. Ashton Agar played for me. Surprisingly, was very, very good with the bat. And we do have a few new additions and a few recalled additions into this one-day squad. So because we are playing in Sri Lanka, I've gone with a real spin heavy lineup, which we will see in just a second once Starkey and Hazelwood have finished their first 5 overs. The fielding restrictions are now going to be done and dusted, which means we can go and change things up. So as you can see, we've got Maxwell, Marsh, Agar, and Zampa. So we've got a lot of spin bowling options. Mitch Marsh thrown in there as well. Timmy Payne, I've recalled him. He's had a pretty good big bash so far, and obviously being a Tasmanian, very hard to leave him out. So I brought him in. Brought Chris Lennon, who obviously has been called up to the Chappell Hadley series, I believe. And we've got Mitchell Marsh. I've got Khawaja in the one-day side. He's batting at 3. We've got Smith. Warner's still in there. I used Renshaw in the tests. So I am going for, you know, a little bit of a, I guess, current Australian side, but I have gone and put my own little spin on it, which is what we've done with our New Zealand career as well. Zampa, not the best first over from you, son. Going for 7. We're looking to go and try and fix that up as we get further on. But we do have plenty, as I said, plenty of spin bowling options here today. Because the pitch does look like it is going to turn a little bit. So still Agar to come. Still got Mitchell Marsh as well. Might try and look at turning Mitchell Marsh into one of those guys who potentially we can use as a guy up in the top 5 who's just going to be, I guess, a bowling option for us, which allows us to have greater balance, especially with the wicket-keeping situation. It is a little bit hard. Come the test matches that we just had, it was very, very difficult for me, really just to select who I wanted. Such a big choice. I think I took both Matty Wade and Peter Neville on tour with me. I also took Peter Hanscom. He ended up keeping, I think, in the 3rd test, again, just to allow me to have a bit more balance, a bit better balance in this side. And Pereira is playing me around absolutely wickedly. Zampa has not had the greatest one-day debuts to date so far. So hopefully... Oh, sorry, this isn't his one-day debut. What am I talking about? It's definitely not his one-day debut. But he got tonked around in that last one, so we're going to bring him out, bring Mitchie Marsh in, and hopefully we can go and pick up a wicket. Because these two Sri Lankans are starting to put on quite a nice wee partnership, which is not what we want. We definitely want to go and try and break it. We want to get off to a good start. I think our batting probably is a little bit more destructive than our bowling. I think that's probably our main suit, obviously with Warner. We've got Timmy Payne in there today. If you guys have any suggestions of players, you know, young domestic players that I could go and bring into this side, do let me know down in the comments, because I would like to go and try and include a little bit, I guess, of you know, your selections and your choices. There's a good wicket from Maxwell. We needed that to break the partnership. He gets Chandimal, very dangerous Chandimal, for 43. Pereira's still in and Matthews in now. So we're going to have to go and try and dot up and wicket up these middle overs, you would have to say. And Maxie's actually doing a pretty good job of that at the moment. Mitchell Marsh has done well too. I don't know if Zamps personally is going to come back into the game, because he's only gone for 25, mind you. But we're going to try Ashton Agar here, and hopefully we can get something from him. He starts off with a maiden, so that's not the worst start in the world by any stretch of the imagination. And hopefully he can keep that up. But wickets do seem to be a bit of a concern for us. But just like that, we get the big one of Matthews, boys. Ashton Agar, he's carrying on his good form from the test matches into the one-day arena. Now, I think he did take a few wickets as well. He did top score for me in a couple of games. I think he almost got 100, scored 98 not out. I'm not sure what he got in that Ashes test, batting with the late, great Phil Hughes. And there we go, Zampa back into the attack, boys, and he goes and picks up a wicket. So all of a sudden, the wheels are starting to fall off, you would say, of the Sri Lankan, I was going to say bike, but the Sri Lankan vehicle, I guess you would say. Zampa and Agar are doing a really, really good job at the moment of dotting things up. Maxwell has, oh, I was going to say gone. That's almost a great take by Timmy Payne. But things are working really, really well. They were going very good, the Sri Lankans, and we have since, as I said, gone and dotted it up and wicketed it up, which is exactly what we want. Agar and Zampa, especially Zampa, has really come back in this second spell of his and has bowled really, really well. So hopefully we haven't gone and put the mockers on him, put the kiss of death on him like we normally do. There is a little outside edge, and that one is the big wicket of Pereira as well, the opening batsman for Sri Lanka today. He's gone for 75. Khawaja gets the catch, and Zampa picks up his second. So all of a sudden, he did bowl 4 overs, none for 25. He has come back very, very good now. Found the outside edge again, but has bowled very, very effectively. And we do still have Stark and Hazelwood left to come, obviously. So they are going to be dangerous in this back end of the innings. And hopefully we can use them to great effect. But Agar and Zampa, man, oh man, I think I might have just brought them on, or Zampa especially, might have just brought them on a little bit too early in the innings. But he has come back and he has been very, very destructive, to say the least. Obviously picking up those 2 wickets. And as I said, there's a third. So he's come back. Remember, none for 25 off his first 4 overs. His next, 5 at the moment, have gone 3 for 25. And I wouldn't put it past him yet to possibly go and look at trying to pick up something else. So I'm going to go one more with Agar. And then we're going to finish off with Starkey and Hazelwood. And hopefully they can keep this Sri Lankan side down. Timmy Payne, he's had a pretty good game behind the stumps, I must say. He's taken his opportunities when they've been there. And there's been quite a few half chances that have almost gone his way as well. So Zampa finishes 3 for 49. A great comeback by him. Joshy Hazelwood and Mitchell Stark. What can you do for us now, boys? We really need you to come to the floor and finish things up for us quite drastically. But I think the good thing I do have with this lineup here, oh, it's a good catch. I didn't even think that took the edge. But Starkey gets his first of the day. The good thing with this lineup is there is obviously a lot of bowling options that we have. But I don't think the batting has been disrupted by any stretch of the imagination. We've got Zampa, who's classed as an all-rounder in this game. He's batting at number 9. We've got Ashton Agar at 8. He was very impressive for me in the test. So I'm banking on that this total by the Sri Lankans is not going to be enough. Starkey's come back and done exactly what we've wanted him to do. He has come back, been aggressive towards the tail enders, and has picked up a couple of wickets to date so far. He's found the edge quite a few times as well. Hazelwood has been successful too. Hasn't really been rewarded with a wicket. He gets one there. He gets Mendes. I'm just trying to think what the Sri Lankans have got spin-wise. They've got Malinga and Kulasekara, who I'm guessing are going to probably open. And then they've got Mendes, De Silva, Shankar, I believe, is a spinner as well. Just like that, we've come back. You wouldn't have thought, heading in probably 15, 20 overs into this game, that Sri Lanka will be all out inside their 50 overs. And for less than 200 as well. So that is a huge win for the Australians. Davey Warner and Tim Payne. Warner is going to be my aggressive guy. Tim Payne's going to be the guy that probably I'm going to look to try and bat out the innings. But I was going to say, not the greatest of starts, as we almost get an outside edge from Warner. Tim Payne gets one first ball, but he's gone and put that away. Good start by the Australians in the first one. And Shankar was actually wrong. He's actually a pace bowler as well. So that does work quite well for us, because I believe they do only have the 2 spinners, which could potentially come back. I wouldn't say to haunt us, but if you look back on that Sri Lankan tour that Australia went on, obviously spin, namely Harath, was absolutely immense in the test matches, and he was a big reason that Sri Lanka did win that series. So we don't have him today to try and contend with, which is good. T-Pain, what are you doing? You're playing out way too many dots here, boy. We definitely want you to start up in the strike rate, because it's going to make it easier for Warner, who's 29 off 29 at the moment. Tim Payne's like 16 off 44, so we need him to really do, I guess. It is always tough because you've got Warner, and Payne's actually gone and got out there, so that works quite well for me. But you've got Warner, who obviously is the aggressive guy. He's going to stay in and keep the run rate up. But you really need someone. You need that, obviously, Tim Payne, Stevie Smith, or Khawaja, basically just to be that nerdler, be that guy who's going to go and rotate the strike. And that hasn't really happened to date so far, as Warner is just absolutely flogging it. Saying that, though, Khawaja has only faced, this is his 6th ball, I believe, So there's still plenty of time to play himself in. And obviously he's a bit of a big hitter as well. So we can't leave, obviously, too much for Warner to do. But he is smashing it all around the ground at the moment. So I'm just going to keep him going. We've still got Smithy to come, who's been in very good form. I don't know if I touched on, but he did make a 200 in the tests. To back that up, I think with a couple of other hundreds as well. So he's definitely in some good form. Warner has just gone past 50. Could be a run out here, but a good bit of running. I think Kawaja's safe. And Kawaja finally is starting to go and just do his job. That's all we can ask Kawaja to do. He hasn't faced many balls, but when he does get on strike, I mean, that last over wasn't a perfect example. He took a single off the last ball, for God's sake. But when he does get on strike, all we need him to do, put away the bad ball or pick up the boundary, which is what he has done. These last two balls, he's gone and picked up some boundaries. But that's where it does annoy me a little bit. He's obviously hit those 2 4s off the second and third ball, but since then he hasn't gone and got himself a single. Hasn't gone and got himself off strike to Warner, who is the danger man, and he's the one that we want facing majority of the balls, if possible. That there is going to be at LBW. No point even waiting to watch that. That was almost as plumb. I wouldn't say as plumb, but the New Zealand-Bangladesh game, and there is a lot of cricket going on at the moment, so I do apologise that today we haven't really talked a whole lot about that. But there is a South Africa test match which is going on. There is I think it's South Africa. I could be wrong. The South Africa test match is going on. New Zealand and Bangladesh are playing through their first test match in the first of, I think it's just 2 that we're playing. I think one at the Basin, which is happening now, and there is also one at Hagley Oval, so my home ground, which I may possibly go and watch a couple of days, depending on how work treats me and how time is and stuff like that. But that's happening. I believe England and India, they're going to be starting their one-day series soon. So there's a lot of cricket coming up. So tomorrow I'm probably going to have a recap of everything that's happened to date so far in regards to those series, what has happened. I think we would have had day 1 and possibly... yeah, probably just day 1, because I think I'm going to record that video in advance because it's the weekend and I'm quite busy. But it should be good to go and catch up on all that. Warner nudges that one into the gap. He picks up 100, which is exactly what we wanted, especially, you know, when you're chasing a smallish total, it can be quite difficult. Like, this game has probably dragged out a little bit longer than I would have liked heading into, you know, the last 10 overs. But it is always difficult when you are... I was going to say, they're not going to come back for 2, are they? This is going to be run out. Surely! Oh, he's not even in the frame. Davey Warner gone for 101. Not even in the frame, as I said. They pick up the 1. Chris Lynn is in on debut. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. If he can replicate his Big Bash form, that would be great for me, to be honest, because it would allow me so much. And I think that one there has been nudged away by Stevie Smith off a no ball. And that is actually the game. So Australia win by 7 wickets. As I said, it did take a little bit longer, probably than I would have liked. Tim Payne... going to be hard. He's the only keeper on tour, so I have to try and use him at least for these next, I think it's 3 one-day internationals that we play. Warner, his destructive best. Smithy coming in towards the end, and Kawaja did get a start, but couldn't quite go and capitalise. And it's actually 5 one-day internationals, so that's a bit of a shame that I did only select the 1 specialist keeper in the side. So I'm going to have to go and possibly look at that, see what I'm going to do with Tim Payne in the series. Hopefully he can go and score us some runs. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Do hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Cliffy, your king of career mode, and New Zealand's, I've got to get this right, New Zealand's #1 source of Don Bradman cricket content and International Cricket Captain 2016 content, signing out.